Hey you guys, this is a Realm Builder development log for 2024. It's July. I have a lot of art and photography to put on the video because I've been off of YouTube for about a year. And off of League of Legends too for a year. So that's good. Yeah, I have pretty much all of these are put into the game already. Except for a lot of the landscape photography that you have to sometimes sit and think about how that's gonna be made into a card if it's not something specifically written for it. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of kind of not landscape type cards, but like field spell cards. Like I took a bit of inspiration from Yu-Gi-Oh for spells or effects that affect everything, like the field spell cards that boost certain types of monsters. So there's different takes on that. What else is there to talk about? New Brunswick. I went there 3 times so far. Yeah, it's pretty nice there. I don't think we'll be living out there though. Still, Ontario. It's a very beautiful place though, especially if you like nature. I'll probably be going there a few more times though. So next up to talk about is the sets, the new sets for the game Realm Builder. I'm still kind of hammering out whether to the exact amount of cards to have because it's well over 200 now for sets 2 and 3. I'm still organizing the rares, commons, and uncommons to try and make it optimal and maybe try and make the theme of the set better. Shout out to Besha who helped me draw some of these. He did a line art on a bunch of these, and shout out to Andrew who did the concept on the Desert Nomad art piece. He it's like from his D&D game, and so I drew that. Yeah, so there's a lot going on in sets 2 and 3. Set 2 is called Flight of Fancy, and Besha helped me draw a lot, and he can use that stuff too in his game, hopefully. I'm not sure how much he wants to use in it, but it's called Flight of Fancy. There's a lot of flying type units in it. He loves birds. Set 3 is called Symbiosis, and it features the symbiote suits. It's a new accessory type object. There's one for each color, and they give you various benefits. So yeah, it might be as much as 300 per set, but I think that's a lot. I'm gonna try and have it be more than 192, like the first set, but maybe less than 300. We'll see how much is good and optimal. All right, what else is there? There's some landscape paintings a bit too, instead of just paintings of different monsters to be summoned as units. There's that nice bird painting, that weird fish monster one. All right, yes. Dragonfly photograph, yes, that's nice. I have it playing here too. The it's like the kind of like a slideshow, but it's in the video editor. I have it set to play so that I can look at the images as they're going by and talking about it and trying to think about all the different things to talk about. I thought about writing it down a bit before because I've done that a bunch of times before with the videos where I'll jot down a page, like as much as a page or multiple pages of notes, but this time I figure I'll just throw all the images into the editor throw in a few transitions, and have the sound recorder going, because I can have that going at the same time. So that's good to help me think about what to talk about during the sound recorder part. So yeah, the Niagara Gorge. There was just a photo there of the Niagara Whirlpool Trail. Someone died there last month. Like, apparently they fell in the water. So that's something that I wanted to talk about on the channel as like just a warning, because I've been there a bunch of times and it's really beautiful. So I didn't even think it was that dangerous, just like a medium level dangerous. But yeah, if the footing can be bad. I've slipped a few times and looked down, and it's like 30 or 40 feet just plummeting down onto the rocks or into the like really fast moving water below Niagara Falls. So definitely be really careful and have like good footwear. This is my friend. He fell and he got hurt there, and it's at this part where he said there's these rocks and you go by and it's slippery. I knew exactly which part he's talking about, because there's like this big boulder rock part that's like you can go on either side of it, and he said he put his foot on a rock and it slipped out in front of him because there was no traction, and he banged his head and his back, and he ended up having to get like multiple stitches. And like, so yeah, it doesn't seem that bad sometimes, but then you realize that the heights and the falling and stuff. What's another good topic to move on to? Other nature photography that I got to do. In Massasauga Park. It's very nice there. We go camping there. Sometimes some of the photography here is from a remote, or maybe not. I don't know how remote it is in relative to, there's this other drop-off location apparently in the park. We've only ever gone on the one. It's like 4 hours in the canoe and a bunch of portaging, and you're getting mosquito bit the whole time, even with bug spray on. It's a lot of time to be in the sun with the reflecting of the water. He got his arm burnt badly because he missed a spot of the sunscreen. I had to reapply sunscreen multiple times on my knees, and I've like never had to put sunscreen on my knees or legs before, like doing these kinds of things. So it was annoying, and that's the one thing I said I didn't want to have, like a really far remote one. And that's which one did he pick? And it was very nice though, because it was in an island in the middle of a lake that we had to portage to, and it was very beautiful. It's called Clear Lake in Massasauga Park, and there's multiple islands in there that you can portage to. I love to do the nature photography of just like all the different parks in Ontario. What else is there to say about it? I didn't get freezing cold camping this time, so that was good. Yes, orc paintings. That's nice. I drew a boy orc and a girl orc, and then one of Orcish festivities where there's a guy playing drums and a bunch of them are dancing around. I tried to imagine what the orc fashion would look like. Oh, some digital art too. Oh yeah, and there's another thing that I added that's kind of like a hand trap from Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like a card that can activate from the hand, but for like very specific niche effects or bonuses. So there's like a few different cards that are like that, but I don't want it to be like too game breaking, so I'm really careful about adding that kind of stuff in slowly or like making it not too powerful. Oh yeah, there's a painting of Blumfelt that I drew. It's a character from the game Squire. I made an RPG Maker game last year. It's called Squire. It's on Newgrounds and itch.io. I fiddled around a bit more in RPG Maker this year, and a bit in Unity, and but I haven't committed a lot to drawing. Sorry, not drawing, to programming or doing the stuff, mucking around in those. It takes a lot more mental, and I'm much happier just like making the art and making the game, like the physical game, and then the computer game. But I'll get around to making a good part of that eventually, or finding someone that'll help me finish that part. Yes, some paintings and drawings of undead that are made for the game too. Yes. There, I noticed that on the screen just now there was, or earlier there was some of the photographs of orchids that I got to take on the island in Clear Lake. So that was really cool, and I was looking up what they were called. One's called the Pink Lady Slipper Orchid. So I thought that was really beautiful to see, like more like exotic type flowers just out in the wild. And on the screen I can see now, I don't know if it's synced up exactly perfect, but there's the eclipse photos that I took. So those were nice, and they ended up coming out nicely. I think that covers up most of the stuff that I want to talk about. There's another video I want to make is one about hunting for bargains, like at the flea market and garage sales, and to show some of the stuff that I got over a year of doing that. I've been kind of branching out and trying different things, such as like getting into Pokemon. I've made some Pokemon card videos about like fossil and jungle sets that I completed, so I'm showing off the binders of that. So I might talk about that a bit more, how I got into Pokemon last year. But that is kind of like escapism / looking for ways to make my game better by looking at what was good in Pokemon and why it was good in the first place. Was it good? What was good about it? What did I enjoy about it? How much of it's nostalgia? And yeah, like some of the cool stuff at the flea market. Like I found a Rei Ayanami statue from Neon Genesis Evangelion for just $3. So there's a kind of a funny story beyond that, how it was so cheap. I could like go into more detail about that. Yeah, I think I can stop talking now.